Feels like the 1st of January was just yesterday, and here we are mid-February post-freaking Valentine's Day. And I gotta ask, are you guilty of ghosting your New Year's resolutions? Remember the whole go to the gym, wake up early, lose weight hoopla? Well, if your relationship status with your resolutions reads, it's complicated at best, you're certainly not alone. Based on statistics, only 20% of people are still on track with their resolutions post mid-February, and less than 10% actually make it through the whole year. So we're at that critical point in time mid-February where it's either make up or break up with your resolutions, and the odds are pretty much stacked against most of us. But it's not too late to turn things around in your favor, my friend. That's right. Because in this video, we're going to talk about the #1 reason why even high achievers fail to follow through and how you can outsmart them with a simple strategy that requires 0 blood, sweat, and tears. This strategy has already gotten my coaching clients incredible results. And if you can internalize what I'm about to tell you, your life may seriously be unrecognizable in 3 to 6 months from now. If you haven't made a resolution, go ahead and do that right now, because this strategy is going to put you ahead of everyone and their sister who have made their resolutions in January. So, are you ready to resolutionize your game to a whole new level this year? Let's dive right in. Here's how most people go about their resolutions. They start off the new year on this motivational high, pretty much like the honeymoon stage of a new relationship. So it's that magical fresh start, the sky's the limit, nothing seems impossible. There's no history, no baggage. It's like you get to reinvent yourself all over again.
Hello, 2020. Have we met before?
It's that magic that inspires people into action in early January. But pretty soon they find their resolution is just too high maintenance. So they lose the motivational spark and the honeymoon's over. So that's where many people stop trying altogether, while others revert to plan B. Now, unfortunately, plan B is a trap, and people fall for it over and over again. What can I say? Been there, done that. So, plan B, or as I like to call it, the all or nothing trap, goes something like this. If you want an extraordinary result, you have to make an extraordinary effort, and massive action will take you there. Sounds pretty logical, right? So why is plan B a trap? I'll tell you in a minute. So according to plan B, if you want to be successful, you have to go all in or you go home. You go full force, go from 0 to 100, or it doesn't count. So unless you dedicate a great deal of time every single day to what you want to achieve, it's not worth the effort. So it's really black and white, no grace in between. Let me give you an example. Let's take Layla over here. Layla's made a New Year's resolution to lose 20 pounds in 2020. And she's decided to work out for 45 minutes every single day to make that happen. Now, here's the thing. Layla is a high achiever in her career, meaning she has little extra time to spare. So she decided to wake up 2 hours earlier every single morning to head to the gym and back before she goes to work. Now, Layla's current situation is she hasn't been to the gym for months, and she loves to sleep in until she absolutely has to go to work. Can you see what the problem is here? Well, it's really not the goal that's the issue, it's the strategy. It's setting the bar so unrealistically high without even so much as considering how far apart the current situation is from the desired outcome, and failing to strategize according to that gap. Now, I'm not suggesting you can't ever make a radical change and stick with it. Yes, some people do make those once-in-a-lifetime transformations where they go fully raw vegan or what have you and never look back. But if you're like most people, making radical changes on day one is certainly not what's going to keep you going over time. And here's why. Making radical shifts as a strategy almost exclusively relies on willpower and ironclad discipline to achieve the goal. Now, if you're going, wait, what? Like, isn't discipline the key to all progress? Isn't it the one trait that all high achievers have in common? Aren't you supposed to aim high? Well, that's just half the story. Now listen closely. Contrary to common belief, relying on willpower and discipline as a long-term strategy is one of the surest ways to set yourself up for failure. And I cannot stress this enough. Think of it like this. Willpower essentially works like a muscle. It's good to use it, it's good to strengthen it, but if you overuse it, if you overtrain, you're not just going to reach a point of fatigue and failure. You're going to injure yourself. You're going to get hurt. Now, don't get me wrong, willpower is great to get you started, but it won't be what keeps you going in the long run because it's just too hard to use it all the freaking time. And that's exactly where and why people fail to follow through when they rely on plan B. How does this play out for Layla? Let's say she manages to wake up 2 hours earlier on day one. She makes it to the gym, works out for 45 minutes and heads straight to work. Now she's a bit tired, but she's darn proud of herself for following through. So she repeats it the next day, even though she's feeling a bit sore from the workout she's no longer used to and tired from waking up earlier. So day 3, her alarm rings again 2 hours earlier. Only now she's really sleep deprived and her whole body hurts from the workouts that she's no longer used to. But she's committed. So she gets up, she drags herself to the gym, works out for 30 minutes, but then has to stop because it just hurts. Day 4, you guessed it, Layla is unable to move. She's exhausted and she's been unable to focus at work. So she hits the snooze button and tells herself, only today I'll take a little break just till my body recovers. Only the next day, she's still sore and she puts it off just one more time. Day 6, Layla's feeling less sore, yet she says, I just can't do this anymore. I have this big project at work that I need to focus on and I just can't afford being this drained all the time. Once I finish the project, I'll go back to the gym and I'll wake up 2 hours earlier. Despite this new promise to herself, Layla's pretty disappointed that she didn't achieve what she said she would. Notice how Layla never picks up the phone to text or call her resolutions to say, yeah, resolution, it's really not you, it's all me. I think we should break up. Nope. Layla likes to keep it vague. And chances are she'll disappear, reappear a couple more times on her resolutions. And that is quite a common plan B scenario. As after setting the bar so high, people tend to find one excuse after another not to follow through today. They put it off for the next day, even when it's already the next day. And then they beat themselves up over not being disciplined enough. And since nobody wants to feel like a failure all the time, they eventually start telling themselves, well, I just didn't have what it takes. The goal was really too hard in the first place, or I just don't have the time. And then they go into full ghosting mode. Just to rekindle the romance next January, using the same old strategy, hoping the result will magically turn out different.
Hello, 2021. Have we met before?
Great prospects, right? So what if I told you there was a way to achieve your goals which allows you to bypass willpower and discipline altogether. Now, this is the part that is totally counterintuitive and goes against what most people believe to be true. Think you can handle it? I thought so. So, in order to break out of the all or nothing trap, you have to first of all set the bar for taking action so low that you simply cannot fail. Trust me when I say that making change stick is nowhere nearly as hard as most people think, and it doesn't even require half as much effort. All it requires are barely noticeable millimeter shifts, one day at a time. And this has absolutely nothing to do with lowering your standards, because guess what? 1 millimeter, one day at a time, over time, adds up. Now, what does that mean in practical terms? Imagine Layla wakes up just 10 minutes earlier on day 1 and starts her morning with 5 minutes of exercise at home or goes for a quick morning run. Now, every week she adds just 5 more minutes of exercise to her mornings and wakes up 5 minutes earlier. Now, if you do the math, she's up to 30 minutes of exercise in just 1.5 months. And for all I know, those 30-minute workouts are all it really takes for her to reach her 20-pound weight loss goal by the end of the year or much sooner. But if she insists on reaching her 45-minute workout goal, then she'll get there in 2 months' time with this approach. And if she even insists more that she needs to go to the gym, well, guess what? If she just adds 5 more minutes in the mornings, wakes up 5 minutes earlier for a couple more weeks, she'll be crushing it in the gym before summer. And how much willpower do you think that's going to take her now? At this point, her body is used to the duration of the workouts, to waking up early. In fact, at this point, Layla is looking forward to a morning routine because it sets her up for the day, it sets her up for success, and she feels so much more energized and stronger. See what's possible when we don't overwhelm ourselves, thinking we have to get it perfect on day 1, no matter what our current conditions? If we gradually and consistently approach the goal. And that consistency is key because, and you may want to write this down, my friend, ordinary things done consistently produce extraordinary results. No massive shift, no radical change required. Enough said to make you want to get the spark back and recommit to your resolutions? Great. Hold on tight to your pen because here's the simple formula you can follow step by step to turn your resolutions into reality and put a ring on it. So step 1, I want you to recall your resolution. What did you set out to achieve? Was it getting in shape, learning a new skill, working out? Now remember, if you haven't made a resolution, you can do it right now and still rock 2020. That being said, now I want you to recall why that goal matters to you. Write down at least 2 great reasons. Step 2. Whatever the resolution, now I want you to break it down into the smallest possible action step you could take in a single day towards that goal. Now, I want you to make that action step so small, so easy, that there's little to no resistance you'd have to get over before getting started. Step 3. Commit to this baby step as a minimum daily requirement. And then repeat it over and over again, day after day. In fact, could you do it right now? Step 4. Anticipate that your impatient mind is going to try to fool you into believing that this is just too small or too slow to make a difference. Now, to break out of the makeup and breakup cycle with your resolutions, remember that sometimes, ironically, the baby steps are in fact the quickest way to turn your resolutions into results. To sum it up, here's your resolutionary success formula. Baby steps paired with consistency lead to big time results. Now, I know this may feel a little unfamiliar for the first couple of days, but once you adjust to it, it'll essentially become like second nature, pretty much like brushing your teeth, and your goals will start taking care of themselves. And all you will need to do is focus on the next baby step. Just trust the process. And now I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know what baby step you have defined for yourself. I know there's a bunch of intelligent people watching this video, and it would be amazing to tap into that pool of resourcefulness and creativity to inspire each other. Now, put your baby step in the comments down below, and I'll do the same. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please put a like on it. If you haven't already, head on over to CoachMeTahi.com and sign up for the email list, where I share more self-coaching tools and some personal insights that I just don't share anywhere else. Hope to see you on the other side.